G'day guys, this is Tyr, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. And in today's one I'm going to be talking about the new updates that Bethesda have been releasing for the game, and also I will be explaining the new special loadout system that will be introduced in the near future. And I'll explain exactly how I'm going to make full use of it, and what this system actually allows you all to do. So stick around to be fully informed, let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, update 25 was fucking amazing, the quality of life update. It was such a breath of fresh air to have Bethesda release so many fixes and changes to the game that we have been asking for so long. But as you all know, Bethesda aren't done yet. They have another update that is just around the corner, that is chock full of more quality of life changes and bug fixes for all of us. And I just gotta say, I am 100% all for it. Seriously, 100% I would rather a full year of quality of life updates instead of content updates like Steel Dawn. It's been so amazing having Bethesda finally fix certain bugs and make much needed changes. So yeah, keep it up Bethesda. I don't know who is in charge of all of this happening, but that guy deserves a raise. You're on the right path for this game, so keep it up. Anyways, with that being said, let's dive into what this video is about. The special loadout system. What is it, why should you care, and how does it work? I'll be answering all of that and more, but firstly, let's take a look at how Bethesda describes it on their Inside the Vault article. They say, one of the most common requests we've seen from the community is for a way to completely reset a character's special attributes so that it's quicker and easier to overhaul your build. We hear you, and starting at level 25, your characters will gain access to special loadouts, which offer the brand new ability to reboot all of your special points for free whenever you're in your camp. This will allow you to create and save custom special point allocations and perk card assignments, and then switch between them. Okay, so that is fantastic. At its core, basically, you can use this system once you are above level 25. Firstly, they explain this system so that it is basically a way for us to all instantly reset and change our special points around however and whenever we want. This is absolutely amazing. No longer will we have to level up multiple times to switch a certain special point from one category into another to experiment with our builds. Nope, we can do all of that instantly and free of charge, which is very fucking cool in my opinion. If you're confused on how this will function, basically a good frame of reference is to think of it as a respec machine from Borderlands, a quick and easy way to reset your character's core build and redistribute your points so that you may explore new avenues for playstyles. Anyway, Bethesda goes on to say, to swap your loadouts, edit your perk cards or special points, simply visit a punch card machine. You'll be able to build a punch card machine in your camp and find them at a train station around Appalachia, so you can make changes when you're on the go. Initially, players will gain access to 2 special loadouts per character, and we're exploring additional ways to unlock more loadouts in the future, such as through the Atomic Shop. Okay, fantastic, so we have access to the machine both at our camps and at every train station across the map. This is brilliant. However, it does concern me that we only start off with 2 loadout options, and to gain more they are exploring that possibility through the Atomic Shop. I think we should just have our max slots, however many that may be. For example, give us 5 or something Bethesda and just let that be the end of it. Don't limit us on this Bethesda, because I don't really like the idea of having to pay through the Atomic Shop to get more loadout slots for my builds. I don't really like the idea of you limiting us on that Bethesda and forcing us to pay to acquire more, if that is what you decide to do. So that's up in the air right now, but hopefully they don't go with the Atomic Shop option. That's all I'm going to say on that. But anyways, moving on, from the looks of this, the way it works is that we will have 2 loadout slots made available to us in the beginning. Hopefully that changes, like I said before, but anyway, we can use these machines to fill both of these slots with our desired build choices. As you can see right here, whoever took this screenshot at Bethesda has made an example for us to view. They have 2 polar opposite builds in their different loadouts, as you can see. Loadout 1 is filled in with what appears to be a very perception, intelligence and agility focused character. Perhaps it's some kind of rifleman or commando build, I'm not sure as we can't really see the perk cards with this view that they have given us. However, for Loadout 2 we can gather a bit more information. Well, we can see that they have maxed out strength, endurance and agility, while the other stats are kinda lacking, and we can see exactly what perks are set up for this second loadout. Now I'm assuming that this was intended to be a melee or heavy gunner build of some sort. I'm not quite sure because what actual perk cards we see in there that are equipped right now for that build are a fucking mess. This example build is all over the place. There is no build at all, to be honest. You've got shotgunner cards, you've got strongback, you've got some heavy gunner cards, and some perks that only work in power armor and some perks that only work outside of power armor. So that example's a little bit of a mess, but they give you the idea here. This person has 15 strength, like 2 perception, 15 endurance, 3 charisma, so on and so forth. You can see all of that there, and they have their perk slots allocated for their perk cards. And if they hovered over Loadout 1, I'm sure we could see exactly what kind of mess they've done over there as well. So this is a good example of how this will work, and I'm glad they've shown us it. Anyway, the main takeaway from this is that you could have one single character that could be a proper duality build. Your one character could both be a min-maxed melee build and also a min-maxed stealth commando build. It wouldn't be optimal, and I'll get into why in just a little moment, but you could still do that if you set up both loadouts options correctly. So yeah, that is an option obviously, but what you have to consider is that your legendary perks do not change with the loadouts. As it stands right now, they are completely separate, so if your legendary perks are set up for melee, then you switch to your stealth commando loadout as option 2, whatever it may be, then you will still have those melee legendary perk cards equipped. And if you did want to change that, then you would have to waste perk coins not only upgrading a completely different set of legendary cards, but also switching them in and out every time you wanted to switch your playstyle from Loadout 1 to Loadout 2. Not only that, but your mutations would need to be changed every time you switch it up, which could be problematic and time consuming and difficult for some players. Now this is just a few problems that I could think of while this demonstration came up, because using polar opposite builds is not that effective in the current system as they have shown us. So yeah, I think both of those are an oversight that should be amended to before this system gets released, because as it stands right now, the legendary perks are a real big deterrent for a large majority of us truly experimenting with duality builds and multiple builds on the same character through the system, however many loadouts they allow us to have, so on and so forth. So as it stands right now, it may not be the best idea in the world to have two polar opposite build loadouts. LoneVaultWanderer explained another reason why this is the case in his video. I'll link that if you want to check it out. He's a great dude with a lot of handy info. Anyway, he basically made the point to say that your legendary attribute cards would also play a factor in your multiple loadout choices. Let's say if you've already got legendary strength fully maxed out for your melee build, then it may be a bit odd to have your stealth commando also have legendary strength, since that would provide next to no benefit to that playstyle in particular. And the same can be said for the mutations. A stealth commando ideally would not run twisted muscles, among other mutations. You see where I'm going with this, but I'm getting a bit off track. Anyhow, these are genuine concerns I have with this system. I feel like the legendary perk card system needs to be involved a bit more and taken into consideration with the special loadout system, as they do both kind of defeat each other's purposes, if you get what I'm meaning. At least give us a visual indicator of if we have X amount of special points being attributed to X special category due to X special legendary perk card, for example, so that we may experiment with this system with a little less confusion. And actually adding on to that, a good way to introduce that into this would be to have like a little green number adding next to the actual special that your legendary attribute point is onto. That little green number would be correlating to what level rank your actual legendary attribute special card would be. So it would say +5 next to strength because you've got +5 points being given to that due to maxing out legendary strength, etc, etc. Anyways, at its core, this system is amazing. Sure, it has some hiccups to figure out, but it's a way for us to entirely switch up our builds from one thing to another with the click of a button, or even just reallocate special points simply and easy so you can experiment with your desired playstyle more easily. Now, this does bring me to the part of the video where I share what I plan on doing with this system for all 5 of my characters. So in my eyes, this system does not nullify the use of having 5 characters or multiple characters however many tunes you've made. I still think that having multiple characters is a fantastic idea, because now, effectively with this system, I have 10 builds if they keep it to having 2 loadouts per character. Now, this is awesome. I have a lot of room for experimentation. I could switch my shotgunner in between a medic build and a regular min-max damage dealing bloody build easily. I could switch my power armor build in between a state of being used for sneak and for tanking damage. Maybe even bring back my PvP build for a little bit of fun with my friends. Same for my stealth commando and other characters. I could make full health versions of my builds as well as bloodied versions with the switch of a button. The point is that I can make these builds fill dedicated multiple roles with a slightly changed setup through the system. I'm not going to give away too much information in case someone decides to steal my ideas, but yeah, you get the picture. Basically, this loadout system adds so much freedom for people like myself that plan on experimenting with build choices and diversity. So, in summary, this system will allow us to change our characters from one build into another with the click of a button without any hassle. We can respec our special point allocations without hassle, and most importantly to me, it opens up so many avenues to try out multiple different build possibilities on my multiple characters. Personally, I couldn't be more excited for this update and the future of Fallout 76. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually looking forward to what's going to be happening in this game. Now, I will keep all of you updated on how this system evolves. Like I said before, there is still the problem with legendary perks and mutations in this system. Now, the mutations one could just be a little nitpick for me, but I do foresee the legendary perk one being a little bit problematic as, like I said, they do have opposite goals. Both this system and the legendary perk system have kind of opposite goals, so it'll be a bit tricky, but I'm sure Bethesda can work out an avenue to make all of this work great. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. A massive shout out to all my current channel members and Patreons. Thank you all so much for your continued support on the channel. A friendly reminder to follow my social medias in the description below, and be sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. I've been Tyr, and I'll catch us in the next one. Welcome to Valhalla.